In 1984, a group of licensed wildlife rehabilitators worked from their homes caring for injured and orphaned wildlife. The number of patients grew rapidly, and it was realized that a wildlife center would be necessary to continue to provide support and care for the ever-increasing number of wild animals and for oil spill victims needing assistance in the greater Gulf Coast region. The Wildlife Center of Texas was founded in 1992 as Wildlife Rehab and Education, but changed its name in 2011. We are now one of the largest and most sophisticated wildlife response centers on the Gulf Coast. As Houston's only trauma and wildlife rehabilitation center that treats all injured, sick, and orphaned wildlife, our objective is to rehabilitate native species while educating the public on how to peacefully coexist with our wild neighbors. Our affiliation with the Houston SPCA allows us to care for every species of animal in the Houston area. Our long-term goal is to continue providing this care while broadening the practice of veterinary medicine to include native wildlife by increasing exposure and education among future veterinarians through our partnership with Texas A&M University School of Veterinary Medicine. The WCT leverages its innovative partnerships. The Wildlife Center of Texas, the Houston SPCA, and the Texas A&M University College of Veterinary Medicine have partnered to create a program that introduces veterinary students to animal cruelty, neglect, and trauma cases involving domestics, exotics, and native wildlife. The goal of the program is to ensure future veterinarians become more knowledgeable about the full spectrum of wildlife and shelter medicine along with animal welfare. The collaboration provides the WCT with access to additional resources and facilitates excellent veterinary care. The WCT is effective because we cultivate strategic relationships. Our relationship with the Houston SPCA provides us with a centrally located wildlife care facility and a veterinary staff to oversee medical care. Our relationship with off-site rehabilitators allows us to manage on-site intake so that the Wildlife Center never has to refuse an animal in need. Additionally, over the years, we have built relationships with a base of over 500 dedicated volunteers, thus allowing WCT to stand ready for any wildlife incident. The Wildlife Center of Texas has never refused a wild animal in need of care. We provide every injured, orphan, or sick wild animal that comes through our door with the proper rehabilitative and humane care. Acceptance of all wildlife is a measure of success. We currently receive over 9,000 wild animals each year, and the intake is increasing every year. Additionally, we respond to all wildlife emergencies, including oil spills, wildfires, red tide, and hurricanes. On the average, we've educated over 12,000 children and adults every year, which is one more metric that exemplifies the success of the organization. The Wildlife Center of Texas is sometimes perceived as an organization that only serves animals, but the center also serves people. Often, parents bring their children to the center to deliver an animal. Staff at the center uses this opportunity to answer any questions and to promote the center's educational goal. We explain the role of wildlife in the ecosystem and how the public can peacefully coexist with our wild neighbors. This becomes a teachable moment to share our message of respect for the environment, respect for wildlife, and respect for each other. We have three main goals: environmental education, wildlife rehabilitation, and emergency response. Through educating the public, we're able to teach coexistence and ensure that wildlife continues to have a place in our world. Our efforts in rehabilitation allow us to accept more than 9,000 animals each year and provide necessary care until they are released back into the wild. The WCT maintains a qualified emergency response team. This team has responded to more than 65 oiled wildlife emergencies and rehabilitated oiled wildlife in various locations and states. In this way, our organization's influence goes beyond state lines and impacts communities far from our home base. Our main challenge is to increase our resources to keep pace with the demand for our services. The Wildlife Center of Texas is challenged daily with making sure the animals in our care are fed and allowed to heal. As the Wildlife Center continues to grow and more animals are brought to our door, the need for assistance in accomplishing those tasks increases too. We have trained many volunteers to assist in daily tasks and educational programming. The habitat destruction in the Houston area is increasing the need for the services of the WCT. Each year, the center cares for a growing number of injured, sick, and orphaned wildlife. Additional resources would provide care for the increase in wildlife needing assistance. We're involved in a capital campaign to expand our facilities and services in order to provide the best care for our native wildlife. Also, we hope to expand our environmental education program staff to service all the requests that we receive from schools and civic groups. The Wildlife Center of Texas cares for native wildlife in need of rehabilitation primarily from the Houston area. We would like to expand our capacity to include neighboring areas where there is no wildlife rehabilitation resource. Additionally, we rely on concerned citizens to transport injured wildlife to our facility. At times, this prevents wildlife from being treated promptly or from being treated at all. Ideally, the center could provide transportation and rescue service to reduce the burden on citizens unable to transport the wildlife to our facility.